Hi everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name's Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet playing around with my food. Today we're going to do something very easy. You'll probably see this if you watch some of the previous videos. I always have some chopping boards here, but there is nothing to chop in this. Sum total of our ingredients is here. Just got some goat's cheese, some pesto, some puff pastry and then an egg wash. This is a really rich but really nice meal actually. This is my goat's cheese and pesto parcels. I guess we should just crack straight on. So the first thing we're going to need to do is just roll out our puff pastry. So I'm just going to grab some flour, dust our surface down, which we've cleaned previously. Do remember to do that one. Oh, and try not to throw it all over the floor with your elbows. So grab our puff pastry. For this you can use about 200 grams puff pastry. We just want to roll it out, not too big, but around about sort of pound coin, yeah, just under a centimetre thick. What we're looking for here is sort of small rounds. So I'm using these little goat's cheese, don't know what you call them, little goat's cheese rounds. And you're going to need one circle that's slightly bigger, and then one that's a fair bit bigger because that will go over the top. So once you reckon you've got enough for that, which I'll need a bit more, you'll be all right. Okay, so we're using these little goat's cheese rounds. Now, depending on how big you want this, I'm doing this for a full meal. So I'm going to use about 100 grams per person. And we're using the cheese that's kind of not the crumbly one, so it's got a rind all on the outside. And then we're just going to place that down, grab ourselves a knife, and just cut with about a centimetre or so, maybe a little bit more around. So we go, little disc. So we can put that down. Just cut around there. So there we go, I've got my two bases there. Now we just want ones that are slightly larger because they're going to have to fold up and meet. Okay, so that's all done. All we're going to do is going to put our little bits of goat's cheese on top, like so. And then you want to grab your pesto. Now, you can use shop bought pesto for this. I've just always made my own, and I'll stick a link in the description to the recipe for it. There's another video on this one. I've used it in a few meals now, which is what I want to do with the channel. I want to keep kind of using ingredients again and again and give you loads of different recipes that will work with the same ingredients. So what we want to do here is just get a good heaped tablespoon and just plonk it right on top of your parcel there. And then just grab yourself a little bit of water. We want to wet that edge. And take our larger disc, very carefully place that on top. Tuck it round the outside. Trying to squeeze a bit of air out, but don't obviously squeeze too much or you'll end up with pesto all over your sideboard. So we just squeeze that down, push it down with the fingers. Okay, so once we've got our parcel all squeezed down, we're just going to trim the edge a little bit. And then we just want to grab it and kind of roll it over just to seal that edge in. I'd love to be really neat with this, but I'm just not good enough, I'll be honest. So I'm just doing it like this, nice and rough, rustic. And then once you've got it like that, I'm just going to use a fork. Just go around the edge, give it another push down. Hopefully that way we'll keep all of that lovely pesto and goat's cheese inside as it cooks. Now what I like to do with these, before we egg wash it, is just put a little design in the top. So I'm just using the edge of a fork and I'm just going to lightly score it. It's just grabbing a fork, very gently scoring it so as not to go through. But hopefully that will just give it a nice little pattern on the top when it comes out. A couple more in there. Brilliant. So they're there. Next, just want to grab your tray, and then we're going to put a bit of olive oil, vegetable oil. Just dribble a bit on some baking parchment. And give that a rub over. What that will do is it will just allow the bottom to really get a good crisp on it. You know, too often you end up with these things and the dreaded soggy bottom, but the heat from the oven will heat that oil and you'll just crisp up the bottom bit. So now that's there, we just want to lift them on. See how we can do it with our hands, perfect. Just wipe those on there. And then we're just going to egg wash them. Just gives it a really nice kind of golden brown colour. So just give them a good old egg wash. Try not to do what I just did, which is just pour it all over the tray. Doesn't help that much. Get it all around the edge, and the bonus of that is that egg wash will kind of sink into some of those holes and cook, which means you're going to seal a few up if you've got any. But even if it does dribble out on this, it doesn't make that much difference. I can see a piece on here that looks like it's probably going to pop open. Like I said, it's rustic, it's just nice, easy food. Brilliant, that's it. That is as simple as it gets for making a nice meal. So now, I'm just going to chuck it over into the oven. Okay, so the oven's up to temperature now. We're just going to do it at 180 degrees C. We're going to put these in for half an hour, and that should give them that really nice golden colour to the puff pastry. So we'll whack those in, and I'll come back and see you when they're done. Okay, welcome back. They've had their half hour. We've had a pretty big explosion on one of them. I definitely pushed too hard with the fork in the top, so that has gone everywhere. But the other one's looking pretty good. And so I'm no Gordon Ramsay, so looks pretty nice. Get rid of that bit of egg there. So there we go. We've got our little puff pastry parcels. Just having it with a little side salad. If you've got any of that onion chutney I made before, it goes fantastically with this. So there we go. Our lovely goat's cheese and pesto parcel. Let's see. This one's not looking so happy. That one's definitely my dinner tonight. I hope you give this a go. I hope you enjoy it. It is a really lovely meal. And if it explodes everywhere, who cares? It all tastes great. So give it a go. Do better than I did. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.